I wish Chairman Madigan, former Rep Madigan, former Speaker Madigan well.
Half a century after he first took office, former Speaker Michael Madigan is leaving his office in Springfield. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. House Democrats elected a new speaker to replace Madigan last month. Now Madigan is making his exit, resigning as an elected official. Our Capitol Bureau Chief, Mark Maxwell, is live in Springfield. And Mark, really no one has had more power or made more impact on Illinois in the last 50 years.
Jennifer, the signs of his impact are all over Springfield, good and bad. Mike Madigan was a delegate who helped write the Illinois state constitution in 1970 that protected state worker pensions and enshrined the flat income tax in the state constitution. Since then, of course, nationally, we've seen income inequalities soar. In Illinois, we've seen our pension debt soar. So, too, did the power of the Democratic Party that he helped to build.
Our first order of business will be legislation which is already being drafted.
One of his first acts as Speaker, Michael Madigan used his power to give unions more power.
1983, when we adopted the collective bargaining statute.
The successful property tax appeals attorney
we had the ability to lower property taxes on homeowners.
Went on to hear this 17 out of 18 times.
Michael J. Madigan has been elected Speaker of the House of Representatives,
losing grip on his gavel just once in 36 years. In debate, he was stubborn.
I, as a citizen of the state and as a public official, are entitled to my view.
In negotiations, ruthless.
This is another case of where I decided to take what I could get.
In the press,
Excuse me.
He was often defensive.
Excuse me, you got the answer. You got the answer.
On occasion, even dishonest.
So we're going to
No.
Madigan leaves office still fighting a federal investigation. That outcome undetermined. But he won the fight he sees as his defining moment.
The current budget crisis was completely avoidable.
The budget battle with Republican Governor Bruce Rauner.
In an epic struggle with the executive department.
Madigan dug in and drew a red line.
But they're not going to sacrifice the interest of the middle class on their wages and their standard of living.
And ultimately outlasted his rival both in the budget battle and in office.
We removed Rauner from office and we installed our governor, J.B. Pritzker.
That next year, Illinois raised the minimum wage, passed a law promoting equal pay, legalized marijuana, expunged criminal penalties, gave state workers a pay raise and a new contract, and passed a new capital bill, doubling the gas tax and giving labor unions a lot more work.
I'm done. Enjoy your day.
And with that, Speaker Madigan resigns effectively today. Throughout his career, his loyalty to unions never wavering. His closing acts were fighting for the Black Caucus. First, last year, removing that statue of Stephen Douglas outside the State House he called racist. And then the closing moments of the lame duck session, passing those sweeping changes to police reform and criminal justice legislation, big pillars of the Black Caucus agenda. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Mark, thank you. Now here's some history for you. In 1969, Madigan was elected committeeman in the 13th Ward. He was the youngest at that time at the age of 27. In 1970, he was elected to represent the 22nd District in the Illinois House. Then in 1983, he became Speaker. That has lasted until this year.